We are crossing live to Absrod Oval, where the Scodfather will speak to the press.
I heard that he is in a grumpy mood.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to do, it's going to be the Thursday night press conference or the Friday morning press conference. Just coming down. And we're also going to go through all our trades, okay? We're going to finalise our trades now because I'm very confused, and I was very confused on what to do. Now, we go through last night's game, okay, and this is a disaster, okay? Now, I can't work out what happened last night because surprisingly, it was a close game, okay, because we didn't expect Essendon at Brisbane's home ground, or at the Gabba, to only lose by 3 goals, and especially with Essendon not having a defence. But I think the conditions sort of helped as well, being a little bit due, but... McCluggage scored the 159, 41 disposals, no goals, mind you, okay, and 17 contested possessions. He's gone nuts this year. We've all missed. It's only in 6% of teams. No one owns him, okay, and he's probably one of the best players. He's actually probably as good as the Bonts, the Butters. He's actually performed better than Lockie Neal. So, how did we all miss this? Okay, McCluggage. Well, what happened? How did we all miss this? And I think the answer, I think Silver Hurley gave me the answer. Okay, and how we missed this because I put it up on Twitter. I said we all talk about the Bonds, the Butterman, Neil Zerrett. But I think the biggest miss by most of us this year has been McCluggage. Only 2 scores below 100. A huge ceiling. Still reasonably priced, 584k still, all right? I mean, how did we all miss this? And I think the answer came from Silver Top Hurley, and he said here, we do rely so heavily on history, which is true, because that's what we always look at the past. We look at stats, okay? And it said here, and he's never been able to produce this type of season, so I guess we were all expecting it to stop and revert back to previous norms. Perhaps the deeper midfield has now changed the mix, and he's been the beneficiary. And I say that's correct. And even we had a comment here by Nifty Carrots. He said he's really increased his output this year. Can't believe I told one of my friends that he was a trap in round 3. And I did the same thing. Well, I was actually going to bring him in round 4. This was this score here. Actually, after he had played Sydney, West Coast and Geelong, he had these scores. And he was going to play Richmond. And I said, I think I need to bring this boy in, okay? And I was thinking about it, and I actually spoke to one of my mates. And he goes, nah, don't be silly, okay? You got to make a fool of yourself. Well, I've made a fool of myself all year. But he said, don't get it. It's a trap, okay? He's never done nothing like this. 2 big games, it means nothing. Well, he's then gone and scored 156, 135. Had a bad game, 108, 127, doesn't stop. And last night's game, 159. Okay, now, when are we going to realise that he's actually worth bringing in? Because we remember last year, no one wanted to pick up Treloar. But Treloar has injury problems, okay? He's had his calf issues or hammy issues or whatever he's got. McCluggage has no injury issues. He's still young, at his prime right now, and we're still not interested. Well, I think the time has come now. I'm going to choose between McCluggage, and I'm going to have to choose either I bring in McCluggage or I'm going to bring in the Bont. I can't have the Bont. It's too expensive. I think the next best thing is McCluggage. So I'm going to try to find a way to bring in the luggage man, okay? And I'm going to try to find out how I'm going to do this now. Then we go further down, Will Ashcroft having a decent year. I mean, Will Ashcroft has been inconsistent, okay? Some weeks he has a 90, an 80, and other weeks he goes nuts. So he's been one of those inconsistent players. A lot of people VC'd Lockie Neal last night, and only the 89, only 26 disposals. And I put up a tweet stating that I had a feeling that Caldwell was going to give him a soft tag, but that never happened. I think I have him for 2 minutes, and that was it. So the feeling was right, but only for 2 minutes. So he didn't really tag. He didn't get tagged last night. There's no tag on Lockie Neal. Still only scored the 89. That's disappointing. Well, what is more disappointing is Josh Dunkley scoring a 72. And he had 20 disposals. He won at 65%. Only 6 contested possessions. That's nothing. I mean, you got Dunkley having 6 contested possessions. You got McCluggage having 17. Lockie Neal only having 11, which is not much for him. There are too many mouths to feed at Brisbane, okay? And it's hard to work out which one's going to score every week. Although McCluggage does score every week, the others don't. Virtually, he's the only one that's consistent. Then I go further down, and I got Zorko the Magnificent. Now, I feel sorry for my good friend Tim Mitchell, because Tim Mitchell put up a tweet. Now, these are Tim Mitchell's trades this week. Now, we all love Tim Mitchell, and unfortunately for Tim Mitchell, something's happened to him. He's been cursed, okay? So, and the curse is real, okay? Now, I don't believe in these cursed things, okay? But this one, I actually started to believe in it because it can't just be a coincidence, okay? Now, check this out. This week he brought in Lockie Ash, Gray, and Zorko. Zorko, the Magnificent, he had his worst game of the year. And whoever Tim Mitchell brings in has their worst game of the year straight away. Although they do recover the following week, so it's not like it's going to be bad all year. So it's just a 1 week curse. But he's brought in Lockie Ash as well, so maybe he's done us a favour with Lockie Ash. Maybe we're going to get him cheaper next week. But the Zorko one at $575, he paid top dollar, was at $575K. And what happened to Zorko? Okay, now we saw his score, okay, Zorko. What did he score? He scored the, where is he? 66 points. That's with 22 kicks and 1 handball. So it's not like he didn't get the ball, okay? I mean, but only 2 tackles, went at 73%. I actually think he's been underscored, okay? 66 with 22 kicks, 2 free kicks against. It doesn't make any sense. But then again, you've got a lot of players having, you've got Lockie Ashcroft, 17 kicks, 13 handballs at 80%, but 13 contested. Zorko, 22 kicks, 1 handball, only 5 contested. So the contested is very important. So it's only 1 contested. Now, we had Tim Mitchell on the show here, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, talking about his how unlucky he's been. And it's actually, the curse is real. I mean, if you have a look at this, he brought in Dane Zorko this week, okay? And he scored a 66. Last week, he brought in Lockie Whitfield. Lockie Whitfield scored the 82. He didn't take 1 kick and had a role change, okay? The week he brought in Lockie Whitfield has a role change. He brought in Wanganeen Milera. The first game, he scored a 62. Milera had a role change. The minute he brought him in, he brought in Jordan Clark. Now, Clark has never scored under 80 or 90. I can't recall Clark having a bad game. But when Tim Mitchell brought him in, okay, Clark scored a 57. Okay, work this one out. Then he brought in Luke Ryan. Luke Ryan only played 3 quarters and got subbed out at 50. Now you can't script this, okay? If someone told you this was going to happen when someone brings in a player, you'd say no way, but it happened to him. So he's been very, very unlucky, and I feel sorry for the young man. So chin up, Tim Mitchell. Hopefully your latest recruit, Lockie Ash, will go nuts. And then we saw Levi Ashcroft score the 59, and a lot of people would have had him on field if you still kept him, and he got subbed out in the 3rd quarter. So, all in all, and actually that's the worst time to get subbed out for Levi, because of the fact that in the last quarter, it's when all the bonus points are happening because of the closeness of the game. And Levi could have. I mean, doesn't say, not necessarily saying he would have, but he had a chance to possibly go up to about 80 or 90. But he got subbed out, so he couldn't get it. And the time when you need your primos to do something, especially in a buy round, you need a high ceiling from these players, because not a lot of us have got like a lot of players on field. A lot of players are missing round 12 by players, so you need these players to score. And Brisbane Lions is a popular team. that they have players from. When you have Lockie Neal scoring 89 and a Dunkley 72 and a Zorko 66, it's disaster. But it gets worse, okay? Because when you go to Essendon, Zach Merritt only scored a 93. Well, he'd probably be the only popular one. Now, the play that we were watching, Jai Caldwell, the 123, he looks sensational, okay? He started off slow, okay? The first half, he was on 37. Then he had an 82-point quarter in the third quarter, had like 18 disposals. He went nuts. His key is that 15 contested possessions. Remember I told you last week, I said, whenever he has 11 contested possessions, actually, I probably didn't tell you this, okay, but I think I told it to you on the live stream, because I did mention it on Twitter, but maybe I didn't put up a video. I didn't do the review this week, so maybe I didn't mention it. But Caldwell, whenever he has 11 contested possessions or more, he averages 116, okay? Now, he's done this over 10 games. And this week again, he had the 15 contested possessions, and he scored the 128. So, now Caldwell, even though he looks tiny, small, he's a golden glove, all right? He's tough as. And you can see 8 tackles. He's a beast. It doesn't look like it, okay? But I'm telling you now, Caldwell is a machine. And his disposal efficiency is his problem. Okay, sometimes he kicks it, doesn't go anywhere. 76%, although that's not too bad. But at 430k, what's his price going to be next week? Okay, because I wanted to see him. Well, I was going to actually bring him in. I put up a tweet on Twitter yesterday, and I put my trades for this week because I hadn't done the video yet. Okay, and the game had just started. I wanted to see the ins and outs, and I put up a tweet that said trades this week. I've sacked my half my defence, so they're all left, okay? So I sacked Reed, Trainer, and Bice. So half the defence was gone, okay? Because we're leaking points, and I blame it on the defenders. So they all got sacked, okay? And I said I'm gonna back in Caldwell, okay? I just need to see him get more than 10 contested possessions, which is what I was talking about, the 11 contested possessions. So I brought in Caldwell, all right? I also mentioned that I'm not comfortable with the Holmes pick. He has never been on my radar all year, but I just can't trust Stewart because there's been a rumour that Stewart may not play, might be laid out. So I sort of brought in Holmes, all right? But before this tweet, I put up another tweet. And this was a tweet I put out because I was going to bring in my boy Wits. Okay, now I put up a tweet that says, of course, Moyle is in, just when I was thinking of bringing in Wits. So that's why I switched from Wits. I didn't bring in Wits, and I thought I'd go for the boy from Essendon, the young man. Okay, and so that was my trade. But then I read some of the comments, and a young man over here, well, these two young men over here, Sir David says here, Wits still scored 112 of Moyle in a few weeks ago, and then Feg said Moyle will play more forward. I'm bringing in Wits. Okay, now it had me thinking. Did Wits actually score the 112? And I checked it, and the facts are true. He still scored the 112, and Moyle only had like 20% CBAs. So, and I know that I've got a spud in my team, a ruckman that's not performing, Goldie, okay, the old man, and I need to replace him eventually. So that's why Wits is 490k. I thought I'd get Wits. So then I did another tweet. And my tweet was, late change at Abs Magic. Okay, we traded out Caldwell and brought in Wits. Now, if you can recall, 2 weeks ago, I also did a late change. Now, 2 weeks ago, I did the same thing. I brought in Libba, all right? And then I had a brainstorm. I said, I don't need Libba, okay? Because Trelaw, when he comes in a team, Libba's score. I went through all these stats. I don't know why I have these breakdowns. I went through all these stats, and I remembered last year Swizz had Libba. He was very disappointed because at the time Trelaw was taking a lot of the points. Libba was playing sort of a forward role. He was playing in the midfield, but he was more a midfield starting CBAs and then moved up forward. And I looked at all his graphs or whatever. Okay, so he was more of a forward. So I said I changed it. So I went from Libba last minute, went to Rosie, and now Rosie's been useless since I brought him back. Although he has been Port's top scorer, but the problem is that even Port's top scorers weren't scoring. So I brought back Rosie, and that didn't work out. And the same thing's going to haunt me now because I took out Caldwell last minute, brought in Wits, but I used this mentality. I was going to need both of them, okay, because Wits' break even was 53. And I'd rather get Wits while he's cheap, 490k. I want to get him in now, and then eventually put Wits at R2 and replace and get rid of Goldie. Okay, that's the plan. Because Goldie, you can see, scored 69, didn't work out. Okay, so Wits was going to come over here, and then Goldie was going to become probably the horny man. The old man was going to become the horny man later on. So that was the plan. But so I brought in Wits. But I didn't start. I could have brought in Wits next week. Okay, I didn't have to bring him in this. But the break even 53. I said I better get him in now. Whereas Caldwell, okay, only owned by 1,000 people, he had a break even of 97. So I thought there's not going to be much damage. Now Caldwell is going to go up in price. Okay, now I have no regrets if this is decision either, because at halftime he was on 37. Okay, so when I look at it at halftime, I thought I made the right choice, but obviously in the third quarter he scored 82. Now Caldwell ended up scoring 123. All right, so if we go back over here, what's his price going to be next week? Let's have a look. Caldwell, because we are going to get him in next week. Okay, now because he's still cheap. So Caldwell next week, all right, is going to be, let's work this out, 123. Project. He goes up 10k, so he goes up to 440k. We're going to pay the big bucks for Caldwell next week. It's a bargain, absolute bargain for Caldwell, because Caldwell, 129, 118, 119, this is in the middle. He's not going nowhere. He's going to play in this midfield. He's a golden glove. He's tough as nuts, and or tough as nails. Okay, nuts aren't tough, but nails are. So he's tough as nails, and I can see him once he gets the guaranteed to average over 105 or one. Even if he goes nuts, 120s even. Okay, as you can see. So at 440k, you can't miss it. Okay, you got to take it now. So we're going to pick up Caldwell. Now, going back to the game, Nick Martin, he looks, I've said it before, he's looked decent. He looks really, really good. And he was under 500k when I was watching him, wanting to pick him up. I think 505k or something, and I didn't do it. I didn't have the coolionis to pick him up because we know the Nick Martin history at Average Magic. So I didn't get him, and he's going nuts again. And now he's got a defensive role, midfield role. He's a super coach. He's got the best super coach role possible. Okay, besides the kick-ins, doesn't take the kick-ins. That's now gone to Zach Merritt. Okay, now Zach Merritt, I don't like his role. Okay, and 28 disposals, now playing at half back. Okay, now he's not a good defender, so he's not going to take intercept marks. He's not going to do none of that. He's only going to take kick-ins. I don't know about Zach Merritt anymore, although he did have 28 disposals, went at 71%, only 2 clangers, but the contested possessions, where are they? Down to 7. That's not enough, okay, and tackles, only 2. He's getting a lot of cheap kicks, a lot of backwards kicks. They're not scoring these backward kicks, okay, so Zach Merritt in defence, I don't know, okay, it's... if I was an owner, I'd be very worried. Although it could be temporary. The coach did say the reason they're playing Zach, because he got asked the question, he said they're playing Zach Merritt in defence because they have no defenders. So what does that mean? So how much longer is he going to play in defence? Because they still don't have any defenders. So we could probably see Zach Merritt in defence for another 3 or 4 weeks at least, minimum. If you're an owner, you should be very nervous right now, but you can't trade him out, so don't panic. Just hold him because he's going to come good. Okay, now, going further down, we go to a Goldie, Todd Goldstein, the grandpa. He kicked a goal. The scores were 70-64. He kicked a goal, didn't get maximum points for it. You think when it's a close game, you kick a goal in a close game, your points get boosted up big time. Now, his didn't. He went from I think mid 50s to 68. I think he got 13 points for it, including a mark. So the mark, the kick, I mean, it wasn't a match-winning goal, but I've seen players get 20 points for these goals. He didn't get it. Okay, he only got the usual what you get for a goal. He eventually went to 75. Okay, then he gave away a free kick in the middle. One free kick. He gave it away. From 75, he dropped to 61. How do you lose 14 points giving away a free kick, and you only get 13 points kicking a goal that gives you the 70 to 70? It just made no sense. There was no love for Goldstein. I think because they think no one owns Goldstein, okay? No one's going to notice, but at Abs Magic, we own Goldstein. We notice. Just coming down. Okay, I was so upset. Anyway, so Goldstein scored a 69. It was so disappointing. And anyway, we've got him. We'll get stuck with him. I think he got robbed this week. He should have been at least 75 plus another 8 points. Let's say he lost 3 points, 72. Then at 8, he should be 80. Okay, I think minimum 80 points for Goldstein. So he's 11 points, been scored 11 points unders. It doesn't make much difference, I know, but it cost me cash because his break-even was 97 or something like that. So I'm going to lose some money on him now. And then the player that all of you will probably have in your teams is Pryor. Scored the 59 again. He scored 90s in other weeks, but when you need him the most, he didn't score for you guys. 59. The players of interest would have been Angus Clark, okay, on the bubble next week, only scored the 44, okay. I think job security is not bad. Andrew Archer Day Wicks on the bubble, okay, scored the 27. He's not making any cash. So the Tsatsis came on in the last quarter, scored 26 in the last quarter, okay, worked that out. So anyway, that was the game. So our trades have been this week, as I showed you before. Okay, the trades have been: we brought in Holmes, we brought in Witts, and we brought in Gray. Okay, there is them. We took out the 3 defenders, but now I've got to change of plans. Stone's not playing anyway, right? And my players, they haven't scored much. Now, as you can see this week, defenders, or yesterday, 66 from Zorko, 72 from Dunkley, 69 from Goldie, okay? They haven't scored. They've let me down. We don't have a lot of players missing this week, which is lucky, but I've got Stones that's not playing, all right? I took out playing rookies. Maybe my rookies that are playing are going to score more than these 66ers. So I'm actually thinking now, okay, what if Trainer, okay, now let's update this. Let's bring back Trainer. Okay, bring back Trainer in, okay. Let's take out Stone now because he's not playing anyway. So let's complete that trade. So let's keep Trainer this week because Trainer, his break-even 70 odd, all right? So you can see here, 78. He's going to lose cash. Are we willing to lose cash on him? But what if he scores well? Now, how often does Trainer score a 78? All right, that's the question now. Against Essendon, he's got a 28, okay? But he played forward that week. 52, 46. So the question is, if he scores a 78, are we in trouble? Okay, if he doesn't score 78, okay, if he scores a 55, we lose another 10k. We just lost 10k on Caldwell by not bringing him in. We're going to lose another 10k. Should we risk that? But the thing is, in the Richmond team sheets, if you go to lineups, okay, and he's named at halfback, okay, and that's important because this week they brought back Tom Lynch, so they don't actually need him forward anymore. They've got Fall, Lynch, and Sims. They've got 3 tools already, okay? And so Luke Trainer's not going to go forward. He only went forward last because they didn't have Tom Lynch. So he'll play in defence again. I'm expecting probably a 65 to a 70. That's not going to do anything for my team, all right? Maybe I don't bring him back, all right? Maybe I don't need him. Okay, I can't risk losing 10k. So let's undo that trade. And let's bring back Stone, who's not going to lose any cash because we're going to get rid of Stone next week and put Trainer back there and complete that trade. So we don't need Trainer, okay? Because we don't want to lose any cash. If he scores a 78, what am I going to gain? 10 points, 12 points. It makes no difference because one of these 66ers gets knocked out. It makes no difference. So I'm not fussed about it. So we're just going to leave him out of the team. Now, I brought in Max Holmes. Okay, now I'm going to look at the bye rounds. Now, Max Holmes, the round 16 bye is going to be a problem for me now. In round 16, I've got Zorko, Whitfield, now Holmes missing. That's 3. Dunkley is 4. Well, Goal is going to be gone by then. Smith is 5. And I'm going to bring in Caldwell. That's 6. I'll have 6 players missing. That's not that bad. Although I do want to bring in McCluggage, but I can't because that will make it 7. I think 6 is my max. So it'll still work for me. But that means I can't bring in Stewart. And Witts, we're going to have him because I think with Witts, if you have a look at his draw, okay, let's get a Witts. He's going to play against Shrek most of the game. Against Shrek, Nank killed him. I think against Shrek, he'll go roughly about 110, all right? Against Geelong, Stanley, he'll go probably 115, all right? Against GWS, he'll go 107. Against Gawn, well, he played Gawn already, scored the 109. So let's give him another 109 against Gawn. Against the old man, Essendon, okay, what's he going to score? Probably, let's just say a 130. All right, let's just project his price now. It doesn't go up by much. It's up to 550k because the magic number drops, okay? But still, it's decent. At 550k, he goes up 60k, but he's still scoring for me. That's all I need from a ruckman. So I'm happy to hold Witts. So I'm happy to bring in Witts this week and put him at R2, okay? And next week we'll get rid of Goldie. So these are my trades this week. And that's going to be all for today. Actually, before we end it, okay, the magic number this week is 1800, okay? So that's 1800. Well, I've typed it on the calculator. I couldn't find the notepad, okay? It's gone missing. It's on my desk somewhere. I can't find a notepad. So we're going to calculator, and the magic number is 1800 this week. And now it's going to be tough for a lot of teams. So it's the bye rounds, and we have dropped it from the 2200s. But 1800 is your magic number. Hopefully you can get it. Good luck. And that's going to be all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.